Present. Honorable Hunter B. Arcadiano Pulido.
Present.
Honorable Francisco S. Reyes.
Present.
Honorable Bernardo E. Inay.
Present.
Honorable Marie Antonina Ayrolado. Present. Honorable Jason Lagasca.
Present.
Honorable Richie Ruel Ugoy. Present. Honorable Annabel G. Pingoy. Present. Honorable Antonio S. Aging.
Present.
Honorable Gregorio Presta.
Present.
Honorable Clarice May Tiso. Present. Mr. Presiding Officer, all members are present.
With the presence of all members of this august body, our session this afternoon, February 16, is hereby quorum.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Honorable Breeze.
before we proceed further, Mr. Chair, I move for an insertion into today's order of business. First is a committee report coming from the Committee on Housing and Land Use. The subject of this report is the application for subdivision of lot owned by Ms. Julieta Lee located at Puruquicon, Barangay General Paulino Santos. As item number 3, Mr. Chair, under committee report. And so, second.
Any objection? Having none, motion is approved.
Another, Mr. Chair, is a committee report again from the Committee on Housing and Land Use. The subject of this report is the application for subdivision of lot owned by Mr. Bernardo Fernandez located at Purok Silang, Barangay Carpenter. As item number 4, Mr. Chair, under committee report. Second.
Any objection? Having none, motion is approved.
And Mr. Chair, from the Committee on Commerce, Trade and Industry, the subject of the report of the committee is the request from the executive authorizing the city mayor to enter into a MOA with Food Panda Philippines Incorporated in the implementation of Panda Solar Project in the city of Koronadal. As item number 5, the chair under the
Any objection? Having none, motion is approved.
and lastly, Mr. Chair, I move that a privilege hour will be inserted in today's session after the committee report as requested by the Honorable Pingoy. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Any objection?
I so move.
Any objection? Hereby
First reading and for a resolution authorizing Act number 11223.
Mr. to Dr. And Dr. Libatigri told me that it was reset on March, so we can refer this to the Committee on Health, Mr. Chair.
is referred for therefore to Committee on Health.
Letter dated February 15, 2021, meeting for review the following appropriation ordinances. Appropriation ordinance number 3 of 2020, annual budget CY 2021 of Barangay San Isidro, City of Koronadal, in the amount of 7,885,000 pesos. And appropriation ordinance number 4 of 2020, annual budget CY 2021 of Barangay Caloocan, City of Koronadal, in the amount of 6,045,300 pesos.
This is referred to.
Members of this August body, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am presenting to you the report of the Committee on Finance on the request of the local chief executive, Honorable Leonardo U. Hena, for a legislative authority to negotiate with local banks for a loan to finance various projects of the city as follows. Purchase of heavy equipment in the amount of 146,500,000, construction of public market in the amount of 350 million, development of the integrated public transport terminal in the amount of 72 million pesos. Findings and observation submitted to the Sangguniang Committee to negotiate with local banks to finance various projects of the city. Attached to the level construction of public market, supermarket number 1, supermarket number 2, and the multi-level parking building, and the development of the integrated public transport terminal. The total of these three projects is 568 million pesos. Attached also to the request were the CBC Resolution number 3, series of 2020, endorsing the said projects, and the Liga ng mga Barangay Resolution number 10, series of 2020, endorsing the purchase of heavy equipment, which resolution was signed by all the barangay chairman of the city. Number 3, the committee took action on the request last January 14, 2021, when the committee called for a meeting with the other members of the Sangguniang Panunsod, purposely for the presentation of the project by the executive department. During the meeting, the members of the Executive Local Finance Committee were present, together with the city engineer, Ruel Chanson, city architect Martin Aligria, Senro of Agostos Britannia, CDRRO, Cyrus Urbano, and acting CDO Bon Ryan. The executive department presented the proposed projects, including the detailed architectural design and the detailed program awards. Number 4, in the meeting, the chairman of the Local Finance Committee, CPDO Agnes Taguro, pitched to the Sangguniang the importance and significance of the projects. The increasing number of road repairs and clearing, especially during rainy season, as well as in the maintenance and operation of the sanitary landfill and the management and collection of solid waste in the city, necessitates that additional heavy equipment should be acquired by the city. While there are a wide number of equipment in the list of the City Engineering Office, CENRO and CDRRMO that are needed, however, the executive prioritized the following. 1 unit single drum vibratory roller in the amount of 9 million, 1 hydraulic excavator with breaker in the amount of 16.5 million, 1 unit 6-wheel dump truck, 8,500 kilograms in gross vehicle weight, in the amount of 10 million, 1 crawler dozer in the amount of 21.5 million, 1 single drum vibratory roller with fat foot for the use of SLF in the amount of 11 million, 1 unit truck mounted backhoe in the amount of 13.5 million, and the 27 unit 6-wheeler garbage truck in the amount of 54 million, and 1 3-tonner tow truck with crane in the amount of 11 million, a total amount of 146,500,000 proposed to be financed through loan. Number 5, on the other hand, in the aftermath of the fire incident that happened in the Koronadal public market last October 10, 2017, the operation of the public market is far from being normal and has been losing since because we could not immediately rehabilitate the said facility because of limited resources, among others. While there is an initial structure built in the middle to accommodate those who were affected by the fire, however, there is still a lot to be done in the public market. The fire incident might just present an opportunity for the city to rebuild it into a much better, beautiful, and competitive public market. Hence, the executive department prepared and presented the rehabilitation plan of the Koronadal public market. First part is the construction of the Supermarket 1 and Supermarket 2 and the multi-level parking building. That will connect and complement the newly constructed structure at the center, which is being proposed for in the amount of 350 million pesos, which is being proposed to be financed through bank financing. The second part is the construction of a molanque on the other half of the public market, which will be undertaken later for a possible private-public partnership arrangement. Six, further, during the meeting, the local finance committee also presented the need to further develop the public terminal by completing the perimeter fence and the concreting of the circumferential road, as well as the construction of a new facility, a motorcycle covered parking area, among others. Number seven, another meeting was called with the committee last January 22, 2021, and again with the other members of the Sangguniang Palunsod attending. In the meeting, the local finance committee, in particular City Treasurer Marlon Tumbao, together with acting CEO Bon Ryan, presented the financial feasibility of the proposed construction of the Koronadal public market. They presented three options of possible rates of market rentals and the corresponding income it may generate for the city and its effect on the possible amortization of the city if a loan will be acquired. Number eight, after several meetings and discussions with the other members of the Sangguniang attending, the committee believes that the further development of the integrated public transport terminal can be undertaken in the future. As it is, the Koronadal public terminal can operate already and just recently was also accredited by the LTFRB. As it continued to operate, when things slowly get into normal from the pandemic, hopefully the public terminal could generate the necessary income that could slowly complete the needed structure in the said facility. What is important, the committee believes, is that the present structure should be properly maintained and further enhanced with the available resources. Number nine, further, the committee agrees that a more comprehensive development should be undertaken in the Koronadal public market for it to be more competitive and attractive. However, the committee also understands the complexity of the issues involving the proposed construction of Supermarket 1, Supermarket 2, and the multi-level parking building. Its feasibility should be studied carefully, and also a consultation should be done with the stakeholder, existing stall owners in the Koronadal public market for transparency and acceptability. Hence, and will further hold several consultations and public hearings. Number 10, furthermore, the committee understands and agrees that we have to provide the necessary equipment to our engineering department for it to be more responsive and efficient in the performance of their duties, in particular in the maintenance of our roads, not only in the urban areas, but as well as in the rural barangays. Also, in the operation of the sanitary landfill and the management of our solid waste, the committee agrees that it is important that we have the necessary equipment for it. However, the committee noted that we have already provided a mini dump truck to some barangays. That is why instead of 27 barangays, 27 units of six-wheeler garbage truck, the committee recommended for 15 units only. The committee also noted that this is not a mini dump truck, similar to what was previously purchased, rather it is a Class A reconditioned six-wheeler garbage truck with a stainless bed liner. In this case, instead of 54 million for 27 units of six-wheeler garbage truck, the committee recommends that it will be 30 million for 15 unit six-wheeler garbage trucks. Finally, the committee disagrees that the three-tonner tow truck with crane worth 11 million is not a priority The committee disagrees that the three-tow truck with crane worth 11 million is a priority. A correction, let's delete the not. A priority at this time, considering the frequency of its possible usage. Recommendation of the committee. First, the committee unanimously recommends to the Sangguniang Palunsod the following. Letter A, to grant the request of the local chief executive for an authority to negotiate with local banks for a loan for the proposed procurement of heavy equipment in the amount of 111,500,000 pesos. To exclude from the request the purchase of 3-tonner tow truck with crane in the amount of 11 million, and instead of 27 units of 6-wheeler garbage trucks, it will only be 15 units of 6-wheeler garbage trucks plus a recondition with stainless bed liner at 2 billion each for a total amount of 30 million pesos. Letter B, to continue the consideration and deliberation on the proposed loan for the construction of the public market while consultations and public hearings have yet to be conducted. Letter C, to disapprove the request to possibly secure a loan to finance further development in the Koronadal public transport terminal. Number 2, further, the committee recommends to consider on second reading the resolution period attached to this report, granting the local chief executive honorable year review in the amount of 111,500,000 in today's session under unassigned business. Finally, the committee recommends for the adoption of this committee report. This report is signed by all the members of this Sangguniang Palunsod, except the SK Federation President, who is actually in Cotabato yesterday. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I therefore move, Mr. Chair, for the adoption of this committee report.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Honorable, okay.
I just have a few questions because I am not around during the deliberation of the purchase of the heavy equipment. Although I am a signatory of this report, since I am around during the initial deliberation on public market, Mr. Chair. I would like to ask, it made mention here the amount is 446,500,000, and then the approved loanable amount is only 111,500 million. So minus yung sa crane na 15 million and yung sa i-minus na lahat 15 lang ang makakuha na mga barangay ng garbage truck, something like that. So paano i-distribute sa 15 kasi 27 time?
If the question is paano yung distribution of 15 units?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
There are actually 12 barangays which has yet to avail of a garbage truck. So 12 of them will be given a unit, and 3 will be at the for the disposal of the Senro. They will be using it also for their collection.
So it will be the Senro who will have custody of the garbage,
Yes,
the available 3 garbage trucks.
Yes.
And the total of that is kasi minus yung mga roughly mga 12. So yun practically 111.
Yes.
500,000 siya. Another question, Mr. Chair, yung sa heavy equipment, bago ba lahat ito? Except yung sa 6-wheeler garbage, ito parang recondition lang ito.
Yes.
Yung isa taas, yung up to A to F, bago lahat yan.
Yes, Mr. Chair. These are actually brand new equipment, except for the 15 units garbage truck, which is a reconditioned unit.
That's all for the meantime, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, there for the floor. The chair would like to be clarified with the purchase of equipments for Senro. During the previous administration, there was an set of equipments purchased by the city. Why is it not the city is not using it? There were 2 trucks, garbage bin trucks that can collect, dump, then the body will be remain in strategic areas, then collect again, and then be towed and dumped there is a set of those equipments. So why do we need another set of equipments? Because we have already new ones and yet the city are not using it.
Mr. Chair, I think the request of Senro under this proposal is a one-unit truck-mounted backhoe which will be used in the SLF, as well as this single drum bilateral roller with pad foot or itong pison na gagamitin para sa compacting ng SLF natin. Now, there are actually 8 units that they requested to be purchased, but only 2 were actually given priority as of now. Now, on whether they are using the garbage truck for collection, I think we have 2 units garbage truck right now. Yung automated, yung parang ilagay mo lang din, may umiikot papasok. That is for the collection, Mr. Chair. But the request of Centro under this proposal is for the operation of the SLF, which we feel that we need, the committee believes that we need a Tison or trolley roller with pad put in the SLF, as well as a truck-mounted backhoe para to actually help in uh, uh, magtapan sa mga basura dito sa babaw. In fact, they need even a bulldozer, but it was not accommodated. But because right now they are still using the bulldozer purchased by the CDRRMO. Parang ginagamit na lang nila ngayon.
Kasi I mentioned that the 3 units will be used by Sendro sa garbage na ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair, yung sa recondition natin na dump truck.
Yun nga. So why do we need that? Because we have already new ones and yet it's not just being used. Meron tayo dyan kasi ano yan, dump truck na multi-purpose. Pwede siya magkarga ng bin na tako-dako. Ibilin ang bin sa strategic areas. That bin will be a collecting bin of garbage. Tapos, gawa ko naman ng truck. Isakay. Tapos ng bin i-dump. So, wala ko nakita since napakali na siya. It was bought at the end of the term of the previous administration. Will be redundant. Doon dapat gamitin yun para
package of the financing.
The prevailing rate, I think, around 6 to 7%.
But that will
So,
really depend on the
tingnan
legislature.
natin yun. Thinking about negotiation, in fact, we must always be a step ahead, already be computing interest, uh, uh, sa ating specifics like kapag tinatanaw na siya ang iba ang iba yan kung the, the financial wizard of the city and siguro ating accountants, treasurer, to somewhat bigyan tayo ng na overview kung how much you percent, then where do we stand from there, so that yung mga amount dito, pag nakita, wala nang changes. So, bawasan. That's why, how much do we start? But because this will be around, and what will be its impact. Projects in the future with amortization automatically be deducted from. So, and right now, si Tita to borrow wala, no?
The rates presented to us that we can get a certain national agency. Initially, Mr. Marlon Gombao is around 1 billion. Only have the existing window, but that will come actually existing already. Certain uh, we are only probably deciding today. Negotiation with it, approve this Antonio. But it will come again to this body for the approval contract or entering into a law specific institution.
Also, about the equipment on, I've seen reconditioned ones.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Garbage trucks.
Garbage may reservation because repair and hindi ganun kadami and like the per year predictability at times at present yung mga there were reports that they were burdened by so bakit Rico na can we change this to brand? Yes,
Actually, during that purchasing brand Mr. Chairman. But then during the committee, bakit na I don't know, but then something
The initial of barangay not able to receive brand new. But the problem is nowhere in the field. That's the problem. Now, the committee wanted to propose for a brand new dump truck. However, if you look into a brand new dump truck, iba-iba na kasi yung ng price ng executive. At the beginning, they were talking about 3.5 million unit per year. Lumabot na rin na baka for me, already counting the Committee on Finance together with the members of the office. At say, for example, 5 million, that would be more than 60 million pesos already for the city. And it will be too costly. And there us as to the amount of the reconditioned unit class A na may specification pa na kailangan naka-stainless ang bedliner, tapos high side pa siya, that would cost more or less 1.8 to 2 million pesos. So kaya we arrive at a figure of 2 million pesos for a class A reconditioned unit.
Sorry to say this, we cannot really justify a reconditioned class A to be as the same state as the committee because really it's a big burden sa barangay. Recondition ngayon, wala namang recondition na 2 years, pinaka-edad niyan, lagpas ng 3 years yan. At may diferensya na talaga yan kaya binagsak mo sa Pilipinas. That's why wala namang masama mag-spend when we have predictability in the end as to its service, predictability ng kanyang use, hindi yung maya-maya, kadalagan, then the next day, next week, may gawa naman, then ang pagkuwas ng basura, may stock naman, then kayo naman, tapos balik naman, maybe minor, but yung efficiency of the job, pigado give mo ng okay naman pakal. But I think since we're purchasing brand new ones, in fairness sa mga barangay natin, siguro magsugot man na sila maski hindi lang na 15 kabilog, maski pulo lang na kabilog, basta brand new yan. Total may ara naman nga existing ibang nga barangay tagaan naman natin during previous administration brand new. even brand new ones would suffer some kind of repair sa totoo lang how much more kung second hand. So I think we have to look into this sa details na to because talagang especially mentioned by the kapitan, by the barangay chairs, that ang kanilang wish really or their sentiment would tell us that they want a brand new one because they're the ones suffering. So ito yung bibigyan na rin lang man natin sa barangay, bigyan na natin brand new. But is 5 million kung bibili tayo ng 100 million plus. They'll have a fair share also of the wealth of the city. Kumbaga, huwag naman natin baratin ang ating barangay. So, yun lang siguro ang maganda dito kung may changes pa, if ever. We recommend, or I highly suggest, just for an opinion that really, with the support of the barangay captains, I'm sure they wish for a brand new ones. Mahirap talaga masiraan sa barangay.
We have already looked into that scenario, Mr. Chair. This is another scenario in which the committee also discussed, again with the other members. Now, what we have provided for the 15 barangays are reconditioned barangays na hindi pa nakatanggap. Bibigyan ba natin sila ng brand new or recondition? If we decided to provide for a brand new dump trucks or garbage truck to those 12 barangays na hindi pa nakatanggap, na hindi sila nakatanggap at this point because sila yung least priority kasi hindi sa kanila yung marami ang basura. Ang purpose of this is actually for garbage collection. Now, if we will provide these 12 barangays na hindi naman priority, yung garbage collection sa kanila, and we provide them with obligate the city government to provide for 27 units brand new garbage trucks. And that will take a long way for us to do that. That is why yun ang scenario, no? In fact, this representation during the local the CDC suggested that if you provide one brand new doon sa mga nahuli, dapat lahat bigyan na lang ng brand new. But the problem is in financial capacity. Now, after all those discussions, pros and cons, in consultation with the executive, with the pero class A na recondition.
Yung brand new, I think the barangay chairs would appreciate maski wala pa sila brand new. Since naka-receive na sila sa nauna, I'm sure they can wait also for their own share of brand new soon, if not within this year. Kaya ning 12 gani ka barangay almost waited more than a year para lang makakuha sining ilaman nga share. Kung ibig sabihin, for the last 12 or so months, ining barangay considered as least. In fact, it would be unfair to say they are least priority. But nagtuis man to sila magulat. So wala man malain siguro kung nagulat sila, kagtagaan sila brand new. The important really is we look into not more on their the question whether there's no that we tend to increase efficiency in the government services. And the only thing that would affect on that, as far as this equipment is concerned, if we buy brand new ones. In fact, kung kailangan mag-utang tayo next year, kay 1 billion man magala ito ng capacity, why not? Basta, everyone would expect brand new ones. I'm sure the community, the populace, our constituents would also be happy having a predictable, serviceable vehicle wherein magamit it sa 24 hours a day without fear of breakdown, without fear of stoppage of its schedule. So, walang masama siguro kung i-brand yung tatanan at kung natagaan naman, kaya may hala naman sila nag-legal pa ganit, nag-enjoy naman sila. Din sila naman wala sa ila return naman sa brand new. I think it was just a simple of explaining to them that in fact sila ganyan nag-enjoy sa recall nila. Then, if we are going to change everything to brand new in the name of modernization, which is we are espousing that also here in the city, hindi na ganyan natin gusto ang mga luma nga salakyan, gusto ta brand new na modernization. That's why I feel we don't need anymore to add mga second-hand equipment for our barangay service. That's why siguro maano yan sa mapag-usapan sa barangay kung ano ang sentiment nila dahil pwede namang antay nila eh. Nakahulat naman sila sa dugay. I think they deserve also. Like for example, barangay zone 2, barangay Zone 4, Barangay Santo Niño, nakatanggap naman yun ng brand new. So, wala man akong narinig na ganun talaga. Meron talagang torno-torno. So, ibig sabihin, if these new 12 barangays would receive brand new ones, I'm sure the rest of the 15 barangays can also be patient enough to wait for their own turn to have the brand new ones. Kasi iba talagang brand new eh. Yun talaga ang ano natin ngayon eh.
In
Ang
fairness,
gold standard.
in fairness, Mr. Chair, to the one of the issue where we go back and forth. Several times we had a meeting. In fact, not only once, but I think 4 times the committee meet. Are we going to provide to the barangays? May unang discussion brand new, may sunod na discussion na lahat na lang bigyan brand new. Meron ding discussion na sige para lahat mabigyan, recondition na lang. In the end, no? What the committee decided. And well, that will really depend on the members of this August body. Now, what we have decided is we just provide a reconditioned unit to those 12 barangays na hindi nakakatap. Because the rationale of the committee is if we provide for a brand new for those 12 barangays, if it will only cost 4 million pesos according to 4 million times 12, that is already 48 million pesos. Because yung mga barangay na 12 na yan have waited already and they are expecting that this year they will also be provided with a dump truck or garbage truck. Well, that will really depend on the meeting. It's not actually decided. We decided on this for several meetings. We go back and forth on our discussions. In fact, I can see on them. No, I don't know what will be the pleasure of this officer.
Sige, basta at least na discussion lang talang na kay practically wala kita na sekanan. Wala na practical. So anyway, whatever you decide, wala akong magagawa dyan. Basta importante. I speak my voice that really, from the experience, from the barangay, mabigat talaga. Tanongin mo yung mga kapitan na yan. Bukat kita na ang tagaan sila sa second hand sa totoo lang. Madjunk lang git siya, may ibanda, hindi madjunk, pero may arada, 1-5% may madjunk nila. May kabudlay, di na siya i-repairon sa totoo. Because this contracts, the spare parts of that would cost hundreds of thousands sometimes. Kung mag-upan, it will take another year for them to budget for the repair. Mabalik man lang ako sa city. Where if we have brand new ones, they can even share. Kasi serviceable kasi mo. Pwede sila kawalan. Wala man nadakap, wala man nadakap. Even the city can borrow. In fact, there were times that the city government, during the need of heavy equipment, because of the quality, a good quality of barangay equipment, sometimes the city ka walang pa baliskad. That's the beauty if we give the brand new vehicles, equipment, especially dump trucks sa barangay. O, ang city government, wala problema kahit bumili pa ng second hand. Kaya may budget sa repair. Pero ang barangay, mindful lang talaga tayo sa totoo. So anyway, ang committee naman ay appreciated at least i-deliberate naman kayo this far. Malayo naman ang pros and cons. Yun lang is just that lang kung ano gid man. So the history ano gid man na. What is important is na discussion na nato siya up to this level also. So here's any other from the floor? I have nothing more to say. So anyway, as of floor, there is a pending motion, and that is for the approval of this request for the local chief executive for authority to negotiate with local banks for loan to finance various projects of the city as follows: the equipment worth 111 million, tama ba?
Yes,
And other construction of public market, integrated developed public transport terminal to the total ilan ba?
111 only, Mr. Chair. The recommendation of the committee is to grant the authority to negotiate first.